43 years. That's how long Mike and Harriet McManus have been married. It's a number they delight in, and a number that gives them the authority to speak out on the issue of marriage. And that they do. The couple are co-chairs of Marriage Savers, a U.S. organization helping communities cut divorce rates and raise their marriage rates.
Mike and I feel that the greatest gift our generation can give the next generation is a high-functioning, healthy, happy, long-term marriage. Because a good marriage is contingent on so many other things. And I think that when you have a couple who is simply a happily married couple, we're sitting on a wealth of wisdom and a wonderful an array of marital resources, even though we would never think of it in those terms. But we know, practically speaking, what makes a marriage work and what makes it not work. And so we're walking around with this great big toolbox of unused skills that we can pass on to the next generation.
Meet the next generation, Cale and Stacy Williams.
At that time when we first started living together, we were sexually intimate, yes. We moved in probably, I would say about almost a year before the wedding. And it was because, well, we had made a decision to get married. Why not just save on expenses?
It's a decision increasing numbers of couples make every year. Whether for convenience, cost savings, or a desire to simply try things out, more people are foregoing the formalities of marriage in favor of simply living together.
In this country, we have gone from 3/4 of our adults being married to less than 50%. And the key reason that is that we have diverted tens of millions of people from getting married because they thought they could test it in cohabitation. But when you're in cohabitation, it's all on a scale of if and then. If you make me happy sexually, then I might marry you. If you are a good cook, then I might marry you. And so it's all tentative. The commitment is not real commitment. They say they're in a committed relationship, they're not. And couples who have lived together before they marry are 50% more likely to divorce than those who have never lived together.
We are talking about extremes, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. You know, it's easy to love somebody and be happy and satisfied during the health and the good and the better. But let's talk about the sickness and the poor and the bad times. That's the time when we really, I think, have a wonderful opportunity. It may not appear wonderful at the moment, but it's a wonderful opportunity to just show your partner and yourself just what kind of grit you are as a partner. Marriage is not for sissies.
Cale and Stacy found that out the hard way.
Well, one thing that we learned early in cohabitation was that we were two very strong-willed people. And we didn't have any tools to resolve those conflicts. We were still preparing for the wedding. We were still living together. And it was a challenge being under that same roof with someone while you're trying to learn them, while you're trying to prepare for a marriage.
Mike has some strong opinions about marriage. A former correspondent for Time magazine, he's the author of Marriage Savers, helping your friends and family avoid divorce. He's a firm believer in the value of mentoring young couples in the art of marriage.
Harriet and I have been a mentor couple with other couples for 15 years. We have worked with 60 couples as volunteers in our own church. We trained mentor couples in our own church to do this work. And we have trained about 4,000 mentor couples in scores of communities across this country. What the mentor couple can offer is the wisdom of a well-lived life, a well-lived marriage.
Do you think your marriage would have lasted if you hadn't done that kind of homework?
No, honestly, I don't think we probably would have gotten married, period, if we had not gone through the mentor couple program.
We went there saying, okay, we're going to get us one more shot. And I think we walked away saying, all right, we've been able to come to an agreement and we're going to make this happen.
As the McManuses shared their lives with the Williams through the mentoring relationship, they shared something else, their conviction that building the best marriage takes more than faith in each other. It takes faith in God.
So if you let God in and you let God lead, he's already laid out the example. And so for us, it was not only submitting to one another, but lowering ourselves and actually saying, okay, maybe this is something we can't handle. Let's turn it over to God. Let's pray about it. Let's figure out some type of way to get through it.
To me, the difference that faith makes in a marriage is the difference between watching television in black and white and watching television in color. I mean, you just aren't seeing with all of your facilities and your faculties. And I think people who have that choice of believing or not believing deprive themselves of something wonderful that's going to make their relationship, their marriage more.
When we return, a Canadian star who shared the stage with Jim Carrey, Shania Twain, Reba McEntire, and Kalita says she was always looking for love. She found it, but it was no fairy tale. That story when we come back.
Be strong, take heart, all those.
Closed captioning provided by Duca Financial Services Credit Union. Discover more affordable banking at duca.com.
We love getting your calls, voicemails, emails, video clips, and letters. Pop by our website and answer this week's question. Your marriage, what made it? What broke it? Or what keeps it going? Write to us at listenuptv.com. Listen Up is back looking at the challenge to pull a marriage together. And our next guest is one who, when she sings, people listen.